Welcome back to r/neighbors from hell, where people share stories about their crazy neighbors. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our amazing community. And without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled CB Couple Break Into My Backyard on 2 Separate Occasions. It was mid-morning and I had just woken up to start getting ready for work. I was halfway through my first cup of tea when I started hearing an odd grunting coming from my backyard. I quickly rolled up my blinds, one of my bedroom windows faces my backyard, to see a random guy trying to unscrew/pry the lock of the garage door. I instantly called the police, telling them that someone was attempting to break into my garage. A few minutes later, the cops arrived and approached the man as he was still trying to get into my garage. I had my window open so I can communicate with them while remaining safe in my house, as one of the cops suggested, in case the man became hostile because they recognized him to be one of the homeless people that is constantly in and out of jail. The exchange went as such. Cop number 1, C1. Hey buddy! The cop knew him by name. You can put down the screwdriver real quick and come talk with me over there, huh? Homeless dude. Oh hi officer, long time no see, how's it hanging? C1. I'm fine. Would you mind telling why you are trespassing on this woman's property and trying to break into her garage? And don't tell me you didn't see the no trespassing sign on the gate. HD. Oh no, I saw the sign, but I need to get my stuff out. The guy had made a small hole at the bottom of a wall to stash his drugs in my garage the week prior when I was at work late and now couldn't retrieve them because he couldn't reach them. So naturally, he had to bust the lock to get in. Cop 2 got the keys from me so they can confiscate the drugs, as C1 placed the man in cuffs and asked him why he thought that was a good idea. HD looked him straight in the eyes and said, well, I knocked on the door and no one answered. C1 shook his head, put HD in the back of his squad car, made his report and made sure I was okay, and then left me to continue getting ready for work. The story is done, right? But nope. A week later I had a day off and was fixing some shelves in my kitchen when I hear my dogs going nuts in the backyard. I had the back door open because I was home and thought it would be nice for puppas to be able to run in and out as they please, plus it was a nice day for Texas in June. I ignored it at first, thinking they were barking at my neighbor's German Shepherd since I heard him barking as well, when I suddenly hear a woman yelling at my dog to shut the hell up. I stop what I'm doing and run out my back door to see what was going on, since I didn't recognize the voice as any of my neighbors. Turns out my dog is barking at a woman, HW for homeless woman, that was currently wheeling her broken bike in my yard. I look at my now open gate behind her and see my new lock cut and on the ground. I put a new lock on the gate after HD. I promptly asked who the hell she was and what in her right mind gave her the idea that she can come in my backyard like she owned it. HW, can you put your damn dogs up before they attack me? I have 2 adorable floppy ear basset hounds that are most likely to kiss you to death. Me, my dogs are fully in their right to be in their yard and bark at a stranger that is trespassing. HW, whatever, my boyfriend left some stuff here, so I came to get it. I was confused. Excuse me? She huffed. My boyfriend is in jail now and asked me to get the stuff he left in the garage. It dawned on me she was the homeless dude's girlfriend. Clearly when he spoke with her, he forgot that the cops had already removed whatever he had stashed when they arrested him. I informed her about the events and told her she needs to leave before I called the cops on her next for trespassing. She was oddly calm out of nowhere. HW, okay, but first, do you have a pair of shoes I can use? Mine broke because my bike doesn't have brakes and I literally almost died. She held up a broken pair of flip-flops. I was beyond pissed at this point and was in utter shock at her that she could ask such a ridiculous question. No, I snapped. You break into my yard, tell me to put my dogs up. Your boyfriend not only created a hole in my garage wall that I had to fix because he stashed his drugs on my property, and now you think I'm just going to give you a pair of shoes because you were too stupid to wear flip-flops while riding a bike. HW, well, you don't have to be such a witch about it. Besides, my boyfriend is in jail because of you and you owe me. Also, I have epilepsy, so you have to let me sit here for 5 minutes because I almost died riding my bike that has no brakes. I doubt she actually had epilepsy. I had enough and called the officer that arrested HD. He had given his number in case one of HD's friends came around, and boy, he called it. As soon as she heard me, I put C1 on speaker. She takes off running out of my yard and down the street. I give a description of her so an official report is given. I have since replaced a new lock on my gate and added a second lock on my garage door. It just boggles my mind the logic some people have to think that they can do what they want. And Ripe Stars, I would like to know, has anyone ever broken into your house? Thankfully, I can say that something like this has never happened to anyone in my family except to my grandma around maybe 30 to 40 years ago. However, it is interesting what an impact something like that can have on you, because my grandma up until this day is still making sure every single time that the door is locked 2 times. Anyway, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments if you want to support my channel. Thank you so much in advance. Your help is very much appreciated. And the next one is titled, My Goal, Get Him Evicted. I got a new neighbor at the end of October. I was on vacation and my sister was dog/house sitting for me. She texted me to tell me he was extremely loud. I thought maybe it was just her. I got home from vacation about a week later and haven't had a decent night's sleep since then, unless I crash at my boyfriend's. I have lived here over 7 years and have had 6 different upstairs neighbors in that time. I have never made a noise complaint before. He slams his door constantly, stomps around the house, plays fetch with his 70-pound dog in the house at 11:30 at night, has loud phone conversations after midnight right above my bedroom in his bedroom. I have been recording the noise for months now. The landlord has heard some of the recordings. She sent him a notice about a month ago and the noise continued. After he woke me in the middle of the night 3 more times, she sent another notice stating he would start receiving fines if he disturbed quiet hours again, 10 PM to 8 AM. He was pissed when he got the letter and called her to say he can hear me too. Obviously, he can hear me during the day sometimes, but he is claiming he can hear me teaching every day, word for word. Only problem with that is, we are back in the building. He is not hearing me teach. I am gone from 6:30 AM till about 1 PM. She told him that quiet hours are what is important. She emailed me to let me know he doesn't think he is that loud and asked me to record future instances. Guess who woke me up at 4 AM today, slammed the door on the way in, stomped through the house, allowed his dog to run the length of the house several times, stomped back down the stairs to take the dog out, slammed the door again and stomped back up. Guess who got the whole thing on video? I emailed the landlord and told her I would drop off a flash drive with the recording this afternoon. I am over this jerk. Small update, I spoke with the landlord yesterday. She agreed the noise was ridiculous and told me his attitude at the last contact was that it is an apartment and I need to deal with it because he is not loud. She is going to edit the videos a bit. I kind of curse in a few because I'm so frustrated and exhausted, and invite him in to listen to them. Last night at midnight, I was treated to about 3 minutes of loud intercourse and an equally loud conversation. When there was a lull, I yelled at the ceiling, "Go talk in the living room!" Dead silence after that. Maybe he gets it, maybe he thinks I am being a witch, I don't care, I just wanna sleep. And the next one is an update to the previous story. It has been a bit, but I figured I would update. It is long. So here's what happened. The landlord gave me more runaround, told me she cannot stop him from walking around and living in his apartment. I told her all of the recordings of his stomping and throwing things and midnight yell sessions on his phone were proof of it not being regular living. I continued to send her emails and kept recording. I sent her more recordings and kept getting a boring old "I've let the management company know" as an answer. There were safety issues such as him setting off the smoke alarm 6 times in as many months, leaving his dog locked out on the balcony in the cold while he wasn't home, throwing heavy things off the balcony and destroying the landscape. One day she texted me and asked if I could come in to talk about everything. She pretty much let me know he hates smoke and has complained about me smoking 3 times, but I don't smoke. But anyway, since it is not against the lease to smoke in your own apartment, she was giving me a way to make it uncomfortable for him so he doesn't renew his lease in October. Unfortunately, I am allergic to most smoke, so I really couldn't do much. I had incense, but it is not the same. At one point in the conversation, she brought up moving me to another apartment, but I would have to pay like $500 in app and moving fees, plus the increase in rent. Rent has skyrocketed here. Everything came to a head on Memorial Day. I've been spending most weekends at my boyfriend's place so I can sleep. However, the night before MD I spent at home. He was not there, it was really quiet. I went to bed around 11. At about 2:45 AM, this idiot comes home, slams the door, stomps across his apartment and then spends the next 20 minutes stomping around above my head. Then he goes off to take a shower. Dude takes like 3 showers a day, and then it's back to stomping above me by 3:30 AM. Then he gets on the phone, he doesn't speak at a normal level, he yells everything and has it on speaker with the volume as high as possible so I can hear everything the other person is saying as well. I am so done at this point. I turn on my white noise machine and try to drown him out. But I can't. Every time he laughs, he slams his feet into the floor. His entire apartment is carpeted, but still sounds like a baby elephant up there. I finally just say, "Shut up, shut up, shut up," at the ceiling, didn't even yell. Just a little louder than my normal voice. Of course he doesn't shut up. I finally gave up and slept on the couch. The next morning I am in my bedroom cleaning and getting the laundry together. It is a little before 8 AM. At 8, end of quiet hours, I put on show tunes and sing along. At 8:04 he stomps into the bathroom and then back to bed while cursing. And yes, I know the exact time because I've been logging his drama. I am in my bedroom for about an hour. I take a break from cleaning and sit in the living room and grade papers. At about 10:45 I head back to the bedroom, turn my music back on and start cleaning in other parts of the house. He gets up again and finally takes his poor dog out. My sister and preteen nephew are on their way over at this point, so I am fully expecting it when I get a knock on the door. I call out to my nephew and I hear, "No, it is your neighbor." I opened the door a crack because I don't know this guy. He tried to tell me the noise is not him and he heard me say "shut up" and that my TV was on too loud and too early this morning. And then when I said that the noise was clearly coming from his apartment, he tried to say it was the neighbor to my left. That is impossible because there is a firewall there and I have never in my 7+ years of living there heard a peep from them. There's times I've been outside while their dog is barking and once I am inside I cannot hear a thing. I told him it could not happen because of the firewall and he tried to again say it was not him and that he heard it too, how he only got home at like 3 and it couldn't have been him. He heard it too. I was like, that is when the noise started and that I know his voice at this point. And I can clearly tell when his shower is running because we share pipes. So that all the noise I hear along with all of the above must be him. He kept saying, "It wasn't me." "Okay, Shaggy." Finally, I'm like, okay, and close the door. He stomps up the stairs muttering about me being a stupid witch. I call my boyfriend at that point and say, this guy just had the balls to try and tell me the noise is not him. I got almost all the way through the sentence before he came running down his stairs, screaming at me through my door. Calling me all sorts of names and cursing me out. He started going back up when I asked, "Did you hear all that?" to my boyfriend. I told him he came down cursing me out and he came down again screaming. More cursing, more names, finally threw the outside door open while continuing to scream and calling me names. My sister had just pulled up and my nephew is now scared to get out of the car because this crazy man is hurling insults and names and other venom at me from the lot. He stalks off towards the office, closed for the holiday, while still screaming and cursing. I get my sister and nephew into my apartment and I'm still on the phone with my boyfriend who has heard the whole thing. This douche canoe comes back in, calls me a lot of names and some slurs and stomps back upstairs. At this point my boyfriend is apparently flying down the street to go get to me. He gets there, parks and starts to cross the lot. This moron goes out on his balcony and starts screaming at my boyfriend, who hasn't done anything but start to walk across the lot.
You think I'm afraid of you? I'm not afraid of you, you dumb
racist N-word. My boyfriend never yells and I'm trying to get him in the apartment while this guy is just screaming down at us.
Every time she reports me, I get a fine. You wait and see what I'm going to do now.
My boyfriend just says, "You have been a problem since you moved in." He starts with the "I'm not afraid of you" crap again, so my boyfriend, all 5'7" of him, tells him, "Come on, let's go then." Several times, and of course he doesn't. He is all talk. I called the complex and left 2 messages, explained everything that happened and that I was no longer comfortable living here and that I wanted to be released from my lease. I also sent an email with the entire timeline of what had happened, also stating that I wanted out of my lease at this point and that if he did anything I would be calling the police. A few hours later, while at my boyfriend's, I get a notification on my phone from my dog cam. I hadn't thought to check it, but it caught the whole thing. Usually it only turns on with dog movement or noise, but I guess the constant movement and noise kept it turned on. I saved everything and then sent another email to let the landlord know my camera caught the entire thing. I don't hear back from them. Almost 2 weeks later, I email her more noise issues. I also state that I am upset that I haven't heard back from her after sending 2 emails and calling twice. I also let her know that I did report the incident to the police. I reiterate that I want her to release me from my lease as of June 30th. She finally responds. Basically gives me some BS about so many emails to go through and she needs to talk to the lawyer and get back to me. I get another response that night. She will allow me to move to another apartment and waive the $500 in fees, but she cannot do anything about the rent increase or she will let me out of my lease. Great, thanks for nothing. I didn't want to move, but awesome. It had been decided on MD that I would be moving in with my boyfriend. He doesn't want me there as much as I don't want to be there. I get another email yesterday that they are taking aggressive legal action against him, but with the court system backed up, they don't know how long it will take. And yeah, I don't buy it. However, she got permission to let me have my choice of available apartment for no fees and at my current rent. Too late, I am out. So now I've got 2 weeks to finish packing and get out of here. Thank God I like the neighbors at my boyfriend's place. And Ripe stars, unfortunately we have already reached the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. However, if you cannot wait for more Ripe content, then I suggest you head on over to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where you can find more exclusive Reddit content read by me. Patreon subscriptions start at just $1 per month, and for $1 your name will show up at the end of each of my new videos. However, if you are willing to spend $3 per month, you will get access to more than 50 exclusive Reddit videos, mostly just no mother-in-law stories. However, please understand, I don't want to pressure anyone into spending money, because I am already incredibly grateful that you watch my videos every single day. Thank you so much for your daily support, it really means the world to me, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for the next video.